Few names hit history like a thunderclap. Napoleon Bonaparte is one of them. Not a king by birth, but an emperor by force of will. He was born on August 15, 1769, in Ajaccio, Corsica. The island had just been taken over by France. His family belonged to the minor nobility, but they were far from wealthy. Corsica shaped him early, proud, defiant, and ambitious. At age 9, he left for France to attend military school. He struggled with the language, the culture, and the cruelty of classmates who mocked his accent and his height. But isolation forged him. While others chased approval, he chased excellence. He graduated as an artillery officer at just 16, the start of a life lived faster than anyone expected. Then came the French Revolution in 1789. Europe's monarchies were shaken, France was rewritten, and the world was destabilized. For many, it was chaos. For Napoleon, it was leverage. His first major breakthrough came in 1793 during the siege of Toulon. Britain had captured the port, and French generals were floundering. Napoleon proposed a daring artillery strategy. The plan worked. Toulon fell, and Napoleon was promoted to brigadier general at 24. That moment didn't just give him a rank, it gave him a reputation. 1796. At 26, he was given command of the French army in Italy, a struggling force that was hungry, unpaid, and demoralized. Napoleon didn't just lead them, he transformed them. Instead of asking them to fight for France, he gave them a future to fight toward: glory, victory, identity, reward. The Italian campaign became a showcase of his genius. He moved fast, attacked unpredictably, split enemy alliances, and defeated larger armies again and again. Lodi, Arcole, Rivoli, his name spread across Europe like a rising storm. But Napoleon knew war wasn't enough. He needed legend. So in 1798, he invaded Egypt. Militarily, it was mixed. His fleet was destroyed by the British at the Battle of the Nile, leaving his army stranded. But symbolically, it was immortal. Standing before the pyramids, he delivered one of history's most theatrical lines: "Soldiers, 40 centuries look down upon you." 1799. France was collapsing politically. The revolutionary government was weak and corrupt. So Napoleon returned, marched into Paris, and orchestrated the coup of 18 Brumaire. He seized power and became first consul of France. Not elected, not crowned, just installed by momentum and strategy. He stabilized France, reformed laws, reorganized government, revived the economy, and most enduringly, created the Napoleonic Code, a legal system that still influences nations today. By 1804, he was ready for the ultimate stage. At Notre Dame Cathedral, the Pope prepared to crown him emperor. But Napoleon took the crown from the Pope's hands and placed it on his own head. A gesture that echoed louder than any coronation could. "I am not chosen by God, I am chosen by myself." Europe reacted immediately. Coalitions formed to destroy him. Austria, Prussia, Russia, Britain, united by fear of one man. And in 1805, at the Battle of Austerlitz, he delivered his masterpiece. He tricked the enemy into attacking the wrong position, then crushed them with surgical precision. It's still studied as one of the greatest military victories in history. 1806, at Jena Auerstedt, he dismantled Prussia in weeks. 1809, at Wagram, Austria folded again. He dominated Europe not because he was stronger, but because he thought faster, moved faster, and designed outcomes before others finished planning them. But domination creates enemies. And his greatest enemy wasn't a man, it was distance and cold. 1812, the invasion of Russia. 600,000 soldiers marched with him into a land that refused to fight directly.
The Russians used a strategy of retreat and resource denial, burning their own cities, including Moscow, to leave nothing for Napoleon to claim. And then came winter.
Cold, starvation, and exhaustion annihilated his army more completely than any battlefield ever had. Only 100,000 limped back. The empire cracked. 1814. Paris fell. He abdicated and was exiled to Elba. But exile bored him, so he escaped, returned to France, rebuilt an army, and reclaimed the throne for 100 days. 1815. Waterloo. His final gamble. This time his opponents anticipated him, and the battlefield defeated him. He lost, and was exiled again, permanently, to St. Helena, an island in the Atlantic so remote it mocked escape itself. He spent his final years dictating memoirs, reflecting, rewriting his narrative one last time. May 5th, 1821. He died, not in war, not in palace, but in memory. So was he a hero? No. Heroes defend systems. Napoleon hacked systems. He proved that power can be earned without inheritance, nations can be reshaped without permission, and a man can lose an empire, yet still own the conversation forever. He wasn't the tallest, he wasn't the rightful king, but he was the most inevitable. Napoleon Bonaparte, the man who rose from an island nobody feared to a continent nobody could hold, and even in defeat became the architect of ambition itself. His empire vanished, but his impact framework remains, because history doesn't just remember him, history keeps learning from him.